First of all, good morning, everybody, and welcome you to a very special event this morning. My name is Gary Perinar, the Executive Secretary Treasurer of the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council. I have the honor and privilege of representing over 50,000 union carpenters throughout the Midwest. So it's very nice that I was able to host this event, and we have a lot of nice speakers, and we're going to have a great day today. First of all, this is an historic day, not only for the city of Chicago, but the entire state of Illinois. We had a project here many, many years in the making that under this leadership, under Mayor Lightfoot, finally brought it to fruition. And I can't thank her enough, her leadership, through the many years of trying to get a casino here in Chicago, but for whatever reason, it never came about. Her leadership on many issues are trying, okay? During COVID, a lot of things happened out of her control. She took a lot of heat for a lot of things that weren't her fault. But I think at the end of today, we can all leave here with something to be very proud of. And that's a casino in the city of Chicago that, like I said before, have been tried for many, many years, but for whatever reason never came about. I'd also like to thank my colleagues here, Mike Masaleo with the Chicago Cook County Building Trades, Bob Ryder with the Chicago Federation of Labor for his leadership in making sure that this new casino will be built by the hardworking men and women in the city of Chicago, the skilled labor that we bring to our developers and our contractors. Also, I'd like to, You know, this project will bring thousands and thousands of construction jobs for many, many years. And after being built, it will bring thousands and thousands of permanent jobs to the city, which we need desperately during the coming out of the COVID and other things that we're dealing with. So all in all, like I said earlier, this is a historic day. I'm very proud to host this event. And with that being said, it is my honor and privilege to announce the mayor of the city of Chicago, my personal friend, Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Lori.
In April of 1992, then Mayor Richard M. Daley announced the Chicago Casino Commission to explore the implications of a proposed Chicago casino investment by Hilton Hotels, Caesars, and Circus casinos. The proposal was estimated to be $2 billion and projected to create thousands of good-paying union jobs. The head of that casino commission was James Kozak, a notable and well-regarded business leader of the time. The commission included other business, labor leaders and marketing experts, as well as lawyers. Pro bono counsel was Robert Hellman, the then chairman of Mayer Brown and Platt. That proposal at the start faced significant headwinds, and notably a Republican governor who would staunchly oppose protecting the state horse racing business to which he had a personal connection. And the legislature was divided, with Republican-controlled Senate also standing in opposition to bestowing Chicago with such an important economic tool. And so that proposal in 1992 died. Back in 1992, I was a junior lawyer at Mayer Brown, and I worked on that Chicago Commission. I don't recall much about my work assignments, but I do vividly recall the personalities and the politics involved. As I said, that $2 billion proposal went nowhere. And while Mayor Daley would try several other times over the years, there was no appetite at that time in Springfield to help Chicago. Well, the times have changed. And so 30 years and 2 mayors later, I'm pleased to announce that in 2022, we got this done. We have intentionally assembled, as you can see, a large, diverse group because so many people, so many industry sectors, so many labor unions, and others will directly benefit from this historic investment. And joining me in this effort are city and business and labor and community leaders, more than I can name. But I want to say to each and every one of you, I am grateful to all of you and your leadership and your hard work. And we all know that our work has just begun. It's easy to see, ladies and gentlemen, why a casino is good for our city, especially after the economic fallout from the pandemic. A city casino signals to the world that our economy is on a strong path towards recovery, ready to develop new and lucrative projects that will benefit all of our residents. It would also serve as a catalyst for additional large-scale economic developments that will only accelerate our city's post-pandemic recovery, which, by the way, is well underway. A city casino also allows us to capitalize on gaming and other revenues, which will provide much-needed new and dedicated funding sources for our police and fire pension funds and capture the gaming revenue that has been lost for far too long to neighboring jurisdictions, including Indiana. And I want those line of Illinois license plates that are queued up going to casinos in Indiana to be coming right here. And with due respect to the Hoosiers, Chicago money must be spent in Chicago. A Chicago casino will expand on our values of equity and inclusion, as the RSP process was intentionally designed to ensure that residents from all neighborhoods will be able to take advantage of the thousands of estimated good-paying, sustainable construction jobs and operational casino jobs that this project will provide. If you'll recall, I came into office determined to make our city's finances more stable and more sustainable, as well as root equity and inclusion at the heart of every city initiative. And through persistent efforts by my administration and our team, as well as a green light from Springfield, we were able to finally put the gears in motion and bring this day into reality. And let me take you back. In the spring of last year, the city issued an RFP for a casino and received 5 proposals from 4 applicants. In December of last year, each of the teams presented their unique visions to the public. They shared how their projects would become economic drivers for our city to catalyze growth. They responded to residents' questions about the benefits and inclusiveness of their visions. And they walked us through how their proposals would create what was our objective, a world-class, must-see experience that will draw visitors from all across the globe to Chicago. And then, following extensive reviews and refinements, 3 bids were selected as finalists: Bally's Tribune, Hard Rock One Central, and River 78. And after months of additional discussions and negotiations, including further public engagement, the evaluation committee selected the respondent whose proposal best met the city's core goals and would help us develop a casino-anchored resort complex that matches our thriving entertainment and cultural scene. I've accepted that recommendation, and I'm here to announce it today. While each of the finalists would have been great partners with the city, today I'm pleased to announce that the winning respondent is Bally's. And let me give you a flavor of what I think the evaluation committee saw and that I support. In addition to presenting the strongest financial offer to the city and the highest minimal capital investment, Bally's is also the only operator that does not already have a competing casino in the Chicagoland region. That's important. And their proposal met one of the core goals that we set in the RFP. Their team has negotiated a labor peace agreement, which was an essential and key requirement for this project to move forward. They also demonstrated their determination to meet our equity goals by proposing, among other things, an innovative crowdfunding initiative that will allow individuals to make small donations and small denomination investments in this project while still receiving meaningful equity stakes. That is something unique, and I think people all over the city will take advantage of the opportunity to make their own stake, their own bet, if you will, in this casino. The Bally's site also sits within an important land use transition zone with several large-scale existing industrial and commercial uses nearby that will continue providing critical services to the city while accommodating development to enhance economic development and increase the city's tax base, also important. Bally's will exercise its option to purchase the entire site and therefore has flexibility in how they'd like to redevelop the other parcels within this planned development. Importantly, the team is committed to seeking additional community input to guide these redevelopments. Regarding design, Bally's has also been very receptive to city feedback. Its hotel and casino design have been cited and sculpted to form an iconic, memorable gateway and skyline along the Chicago River, meaning that once completed, it will seamlessly blend in to our city's existing landscape. A Chicago casino must reflect our iconic architectural history, and this one does. As far as amenities goes, this site will have it all, including but not limited to an array of locally owned restaurants, a museum, a performance venue, an expansion of our Riverwalk, an existing exhibition hall featuring a variety of rotating exhibitions and installations, helping us build on our reputation as the culinary capital of the country, and showcase the works of our incredibly talented creative community. Now, after today, what's next? We will bring this exciting proposal to City Council. You recall that a special committee was set up led by Alderman Tom Tunney and co-chaired by Alderman Jason Irvin. The alderman will receive another detailed round of briefings in advance of that committee hearing, and the committee hearing will happen, a subject matter hearing, on Monday. Assuming council approval, the proposal will then be reviewed by the Illinois State Gaming Board, and we will then be that much closer to creating Chicago's first casino and entertainment complex. I have no doubt that the Bally's project, once completed, will be the world-class casino that we've all envisioned, that we've all dreamed about, and that this city deserves. We will ensure that our communities are able to thrive and reap the benefits of our post-pandemic recovery well into the future. And I want to congratulate Bally's CEO Sue Kim and the entire Bally's team on being selected to mark this important milestone in our city's history. I want to thank them for making a bold bet on Chicago and their willingness to collaborate to meet all of our goals and objectives. I also want to thank each and every RFP respondent for their efforts in putting together thoughtful, robust proposals and their strong belief in the future of our city. I personally spoke to each of the other finalists this morning to thank them for their work, thank them for their collaboration, and I'm confident that each and every one of the teams will continue to be a big part of Chicago's economic future. I also have to give thanks to the state and local leaders who have worked tirelessly to finally make this 30-year dream a reality. Now, I can't thank everyone, but I have to single out one person in particular, and that's State Representative Bob Rita. Bob, why don't you stand? we had a lot of help along the way. As you know, Bob is the champion of gaming in the House. Mike Lulewski is here. He did yeoman's work for us. I want to thank Kelly Cassidy. I also want to thank leadership of the House now, led by Speaker Chris Welch. I also have to thank our colleagues in the Illinois State Senate, led by President Don Harmon. I want to thank Leader Lightfoot and Senator Matty Hunter and the others in the Senate who were also helpful. We would not have gotten this done without building strong relationships with members of the General Assembly and making sure that we were being responsive to what they needed and really making the case why now, why this time. I have to thank our team, both in Springfield, but also the team in the mayor's office, led by Jenny Bennett, our CFO, and Samir Mayakar, our deputy mayor for neighborhood and economic development, and their respective teams who were huddled against the back wall and on this side. Man, these folks have worked their tails off. And they are deserving of our praise and appreciation, because we would not have gotten this far without their tremendous work and sacrifice, a lot of long nights, a lot of weekends, a lot of hard work, all in service of the people of this city. I also want to thank our labor partners who have been with us every step of the way. And you'll hear from Bob Ryder, the CFL, you'll hear from Karen Kent, and you'll hear from others. You heard at the beginning from Gary. Folks, this is going to be an incredible project for our folks in organized labor. Not only in the build out of the temporary casino, the standing up of the permanent casino, and then of course labor jobs in the permanent workforce. We are a labor town, and we will continue to be a labor town, and any major economic development plan in this city will be marked by labor peace and labor being at the table. And last but absolutely not least, I want to thank the community members who have been vocal and participatory in this process, as they should be. As I've said many times, city government can't and should not make investments without consulting the communities in which those investments are made at every step of the way. And that's exactly what we've done along this journey. This started last spring with the issuance of the RFP, but even before that, we had extensive conversations with every range of stakeholders that we could think of to make sure, frankly, that we got it right. This is a once in a 30-year opportunity, and we wanted to make sure that we made the most of this opportunity. And in order for us to do that, we had to go into community, we had to talk to our stakeholders and leaders, and that's precisely what we've done every step of the way. So this is a milestone in a journey. The journey's not finished. We now turn this process over to City Council, many of whom are here today, and I've got to call out our friend and leader of the Budget Committee, Chairman Pat Dow, who's with us today. Thank you, Chairman. Alderman Cardenas is here, Alderman Sposato is here, of course, Alderman Burnett, who you'll hear from in a moment. But as I said, this is a team sport. It takes all of us, making sure that we are focused on what's important, blocking out the noise and getting the job done and delivering on behalf of our residents. I am beyond excited today, and I can't say enough about everyone who was involved. This is a great day to be a Chicago resident, a great day for me to be the mayor of this great city. And now, without further ado, I welcome Sue Kim of Bally's to the podium.
Good morning. My name is Sue Kim. I'm the chairman of the board of Bally's Corporation, and on behalf of the entire corporation, I want to say thank you to the mayor and the mayor's office for all the work that they've done. Look, in 1992, I was still in high school, filled with anxiety as to figure out what I was going to do in life and whether I was getting to college. So I guess it sort of worked out a little bit. Look, we understand that this project is we are also the largest shareholders of the company. And as a shareholder of the company, we're really excited about the economic prospects for us, Bally's Corporation. I think we're going to do well. And so for that reason, this is really exciting. But the reality is this is a public and private partnership. And we also understand all the responsibilities that we take on by being selected and accepting this selection to build a casino in Chicago, a dream that's decades in coming. We understand how by building and operating a wonderful casino that'll keep the property taxes low for the residents of Chicago. We understand that it'll allow for the city of Chicago to keep their promises to the pensions of the police and fire. We understand how important it is for all of the laborers here to work together to build this casino and then to operate the casino together, and what an opportunity it is for them. We understand how for all the underrepresented groups that in some ways capitalism has left behind, that this is a project that will include them, that will allow them to be part of the ownership, part of obviously the management, the operations. We understand all of the promises that this casino allows the city of Chicago to keep and the state of Illinois to keep, and we accept and bear those responsibilities. We're excited for the future. And understand that this is really just the first step. Now we need to go and take or make our case before the City Council. We're looking forward to that. And we believe that Bally's is ready to bet on Chicago. We think this is a wonderful way for Chicago to, continue its recovery from COVID. And we can't be more excited. So thank you very much on behalf of our entire corporation. And it's my great pleasure to introduce Alderman Burnett. Thank you.
Kamsahamnida, Mr. Kim. Good morning, everyone. I'm Alderman Walter Burnett. Now, it gives me a great honor and pleasure to be here today. The mayor was talking about 30 years ago. I've been alderman almost 28 years. So I served with 3 mayors under 4 governors, and this is a very, very historical event. I'd like to give a shout out to everyone in the House. 40 years ago, myself and Bob Ryder were young Democrats together hanging out at places. I won't say.
Don't worry,
that's enough.
Still hang out at those places.
And his dad was a great leader in the Democratic Party when I was a youngster, and mentored me also. Representative Zalewski, his father and I started at the same time in the House. But I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge, sitting next to them, is former State Representative Eddie Winters, who's former police chief, one of the suburbs, and lieutenant in the state, and to my colleagues. Of course, Alderman Pat Dow, running for Congress, right? Alderman Nick Sposato, Alderman Cardenas, and I hope I didn't miss anyone. But it's an honor to be with all of you all. All of the union guys, been working with you guys for a long time. I want you all to recognize you get more work in the 27th Ward than anywhere else in the city of Chicago. And that's only because I'm not scared, right? I'm not scared of progress. I think about the past. I see some of my homies here from Cabrini. We grew up in Cabrini, this area where this casino is going to go. We used to call it Ghost Town, right? We used to run through there. We used to first tell everybody we saw a ghost and run and hide and all that stuff. But we used to run around there and chase rabbits and throw rocks and ride our bikes before all of those residents even thought about moving to this area. And I grew up in Cabrini Green, right down the street from where this is going to be built, in the row houses on Cambridge Street. My childhood home is still there. It's just boarded up. And, you know, I wasn't afraid of progress. I wasn't afraid of prosperity. When we had to tear down the former Cabrini Green high-rises over in the area, I wasn't afraid. Because I wasn't afraid, all of the people who live over there now live over there now. Because before that, they wouldn't even come to that area. So we help all of them to prosper in that community and be able to live in the luxuries that they live in now. And that's because we weren't afraid, because we feel like we needed to do what's right and help progress and help people have a better place to live in the community. In this instance, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to have this casino to be built in our ward that's going to help our police and our firemen. They put their lives on the line for us every day. Every day. And, you know, I have two cousins who happens to be police officers in that area right now, and whenever something happens, everybody's on the phone. You okay? You okay? You okay? It affects everybody's family. And if something happens to these guys, their pensions will go to their loved ones, will go to their spouses. You know, so it's only fitting that we make sure that their pension funds are intact. It's unfortunate, you know, back in the day, I remember when Mayor Daley was in, you know, he took us all to Springfield and we had to try to, you know, say, don't make us pay for the, you know, come up with the money for the pensions yet. We can't, it's an unfunded mandate. We don't have the money. What are we going to do? You know, and thank God that Governor Pritzker in the House and the Senate allowed us to be able to have a casino in the city of Chicago, finally. But thank God most of all for Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who stood up, negotiated, put aside all of her differences in order to work on behalf of the citizens of the city of Chicago, in order to work on behalf of our police officers and our firemen and their families, but also for our tourism. Coincidentally, I'm on the tourism bureau, the Choose Chicago. Right, I'm the only alderman on Choose Chicago, and I serve with a lot of these folks here. And I know in detail of how something like a casino would impact our city economically, how it would impact our city with tourism, how it would impact our city with adverse economics, going to everything from Uber rides to restaurants to hotels to, you know, tours to everything. You know, so the money that the casino is putting up is one thing, but the adverse effect of the money that's going to come to the city of Chicago is tremendous. We've had over 57 million people at one time before the pandemic to come to the city. I can see that increasing substantially because of Bally's. And so it would be a disservice for us as government who have a fiscal responsibility to our citizens not to allow this casino to be built in our city, not to allow for all those out-of-town folks to spend their money in our city, right? It would be irresponsible of us not to have taken advantage of this situation, because one, who wants to pay more property taxes? I know I don't. I don't know about you, but mine's increased substantially, and I don't want to pay more property taxes. And so many more residents in the city of Chicago don't want to pay more property taxes. I would have to say, Mr. Kim, you know, unfortunately, because of the Gaming Commission and how all of this stuff works with reporting and all of these things, we couldn't really talk to these guys, right? If we wanted to talk to them, we had to have a lawyer, and you know, we had to lawyer up and all of that stuff, and you know, and it wasn't even worth it, right? Until we see how close we are. So I didn't really get to talk to them a lot, but the one time or two times? 2 times I did get to talk to Mr. Kim. He got it. I told him, I'm from Cabrini Green. These are my homies. I need you to help my people. These are my people. This is where I come from. This is where my home is. I need to make sure folks over there are prosperous, but also I need to make sure that we have a lot of public safety in this area. We need to make sure that it's safe in this community, that we need gang intervention, crime intervention, all of those things, but also we have schools and parks and centers and a whole bunch of myriad of things in the community, but also we have infrastructure that's needed in this neighborhood. And Mr. Kim was like, no problem, we get it, we understand, no problem. So I look forward in working with Bally's on helping our community. I'm gonna advocate not just for Cabrini, because I don't just represent Cabrini, I represent a lot of communities. I'm gonna advocate for everyone in our neighborhood, whether they black, white, Hispanic, Asian, to be a part of this, because this is not just about us, this is about the city of Chicago. So I wanna thank everyone that's involved. I wanna thank the unions for working out a deal with Bally's. I want to thank Bally's for working out a deal. I also want to commend the deputy mayor. I want to commend the finance group that we have over there, Jenny Bennett and all of them for their negotiations. She may look like a sweet lady, but she's a rough negotiator, because here we go from come up with 25 million. Now we go on in, they come in the door with 40 million. Kamsamida. They come in the door with 40 million, right? I mean, and she challenged everyone, they challenged everyone to come up with more money, and guess what, we got it. So this deal and this probably, from what I understand, this is one of the biggest deals in the country. No one else have made a deal like this in their city like we have in the city of Chicago. So I look forward to all of us being prosperous. I look forward to all of us being successful. I look forward to Bally's working with me in the community on making sure any and all of the issues that the community have, that we try to figure out a way to make it work. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Good morning. Old Member Arnett, just thank you for your courage. You are fierce. And Mayor Lightfoot, for your courage, to take on really transformational endeavors like we're seeing today. So this is an exciting occasion. I just want to use my remarks to talk about Bally's, River West's, the urban design of their proposal, and how this amazing $1.7 billion project reflects the City of Chicago's priorities for design excellence and for innovation in urban placemaking. When we set out on this journey last year in April 2021, what we really aspired to do was to create a world-class arts, culture, and entertainment district that was anchored by gaming. We wanted to create a truly urban experience, and the RFP brief itself, we described multiple goals that would ensure that wherever this casino landed, above all else, it would embody the very spirit of Chicago. So the Bally's River West proposal did that, and much, much more. Firstly, the proposal creates, for us, a seamless integration with the surrounding neighborhood. There's a new street grid that they're bringing that connects to the existing street grid that connects to the surrounding neighborhood. Bally proposes also a mix of outward-facing amenities, restaurants, hotels, a theater, a museum, performance venues, and other amenities that provide a kind of engaging transition from the scale of a casino to the scale of adjacent buildings to the scale of the street grid that leads to public transit options. Additionally, very important, for our public life here in Chicago. They've created an iconic outdoor space that animates the riverfront's edge and also creates a 2-acre green park on the river's edge. So Bally's really emphasize the urban experience that we all know and love here in Chicago, creating continuous walls, engaging glass fronts, and building mass that understands where it is, its context. And we encourage them to do something very unconventional, to take the casino concept and to turn it inside out. Turn it inside out, and they did just that. So the gaming floor is lifted above one floor and allows the ground floor, the experience of those who come into this precinct, to engage in a host of other amenities. So it's extremely important for us, not only that we have a casino there, but that it is a catalyst that serves as a focal point for this growing arts and culture and entertainment district. So for us, it's a place to live, work, and play. It's a mixed-use district. And it also tackles some of the sustainable design strategies that we've requested in our public policy. And they made it multimodal, easily accessible by foot, by public transit, by bike, and by car. So our hope is that this will be a place where Chicagoans will come, they will meet the world will meet Chicago, Chicagoans will come back again and again and again, and even if you don't enjoy gaming, you'll enjoy coming here with your family, with your friends, to something that is vital, urban, and truly a Chicago experience. I just want to thank your design team for being incredibly inventive. I think all of the 5 proposals were inspiring, but the Bally's proposal in particular, I think, captured the spirit of Chicago. And so thank you, Chairman Soo Kim, and thank your team. My planning team, Commissioner Biaggi's transportation team, are excited to start working with you to refine these proposals, to take them through the public process, to gain further community input, and we're all looking forward to this work. So congratulations and good luck to you. And I'd like to introduce a partner, Bob Ryder.
Thank you, Maurice. Good morning, my name is Bob Ryder, and I'm president of the Chicago Federation of Labor. The CFL proudly represents 300 affiliate unions who in turn represent 500,000 working people across Chicago and Cook County. And one of the things, if you ever heard me say, in addition to Chicago being the hometown of the American labor movement, is that we represent airline pilots and zookeepers, and if I get ambitious, I work my way to the middle of the alphabet. But I know now that when I get to C, I can use casino workers. So I'm incredibly proud of that. I want to first thank my friend Gary Perinar for hosting us here today and always having the backs of working people. So thank you, Gary. I am very, very excited to be here today. We started in Springfield partnering with Mayor Lightfoot, Speaker Welch, President Harmon, Governor Pritzker. Mayor Lightfoot, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I can't forget my partners in organized labor, Mike Masaleo, President of Chicago and Cook County Building and Construction Trades Council, and Tim Dre, President of the Illinois AFL-CIO, who supported and worked the roll call with us while we were down in Springfield. We have long recognized the opportunity that a gaming and entertainment complex could mean to the working people of Chicago. Layer in the revenue that will come to the city and the further economic growth this will give our tourism industry. it's overwhelming. Not only will this casino be built by tens of thousands of union construction workers, but we have reached a strong labor peace agreement with the Bally's Corporation. What does that mean? It means the attendant that parks your car, the dealer at the poker table, the server that brings your drinks, the stagehand that sets up the show in the theater, the engineer who keeps the building running. All those workers will have the chance to earn family-sustaining wages and benefits because of this agreement. Workers in the hospitality industry. And where do workers like that come from? Chicago's 77 neighborhoods. Chatham, Little Village, Austin. And if you walk around our hospitality facilities now with our unionized workers here in Chicago, which is the best in the country, but anywhere around this country, the hospitality industry is highly staffed by people of color and specifically women and immigrants. That's a big deal that we're giving those folks and expanding the shot that they get at the American dream that so many of us want to live every day. I said it before, Chicago is a union town. It's the working class people who make this a world-class city, and it's the working class people of this city that will make this a world-class casino. I'd like to thank the unions who worked hard to make this happen today, all of our building and construction trades affiliates, Teamsters Joint Council 25 and Terry Hancock, IATSA Local 2 and Craig Carlson, Unite Here Local 1 and Karen Kent, Operating Engineers Local 399 and Pat Kelly, United Auto Workers Union and Ron McEnroy. Those last 5 unions are the ones that are going to represent the workers as we get in the door and organize them to be part of this union-driven casino. And I can't forget my good friend Jim Tracy from the Chicago Firefighters Union, who wanted to be here today and couldn't. This casino, through Jim's hard work, will protect fire and police pensions, and that's a big deal. And I also want to thank my Deputy Chief of Staff, Andrea Kluger, who's been working hand in hand with me throughout this. See, a little thing about Andrea, it was like she's like a sleeper agent that's been out there for us for a long time. Her first job in the labor movement was working as a casino organizer, and she led the successful conclusion of New York City's first casino. So this is a second notch on her belt. So thank you, Andrea. So again, I'd like to thank Bally's for being a great partner, and we'd like to thank, again, Mayor Lightfoot and Chicago City Council members who've had our backs to make sure the working people of Chicago are not overlooked in this process. And I want to note something very important, because I've gotten a lot of questions since our since I testified at the City Council. Everyone's like, well, who was the one that you've had conversations with? It's been Bally's. Bally's has been working with us for months now to get to an agreement. They are the ones who were in the door first. We weren't quite there a week and a half ago, but they were the ones who, as soon as we got out of that hearing, said, okay, let's finish this up. And they are the only ones, and everybody else had an opportunity. And I'm not here to, you know, say anything bad about anyone else, but I'd be remiss if I didn't know that Bally's was the only one who got to the finish line on a labor peace agreement. I want to thank Sue Kim. I want to thank Chris Jewett, who's been working with us on this. They came in, have engaged local partners on the operation and construction of this casino, and they recognize that this is a union town and that they're union in other cities, and that they wanted to hold true to their union values. So thank you guys for that. And like I said, the mayor's had our back every step of the way. Our friends in Springfield who are boots on the ground, who are here, our friends in the City Council. Mike Zaleski has been, and not to highlight him over anybody else, but on low-wage worker issues, I don't think enough people know this, but Mike's actually one of the people that I call to see if we can break through on those issues to help me figure out strategies to get to the legislature. And I think it goes unrecognized too many times what a role he plays as an advisor to us over at the CFL. So thanks, Mike. And now it's my pleasure to introduce someone who's been a member of one of our affiliate unions and a leader here in the city of Chicago. Even though he's not from Chicago, he's firmly planted here in the city. A former member of our affiliate union. He may still have his membership. I'm pretty sure he probably does. The NFL Players Association. Former Chicago Bears defensive end, Israel Adonijah.
The only guy that makes me look small on the stage.
Good morning, good morning. So before I came today, I made a commitment to myself. Often I'm accused of always using sports analogies. So I said, no sports analogies, I'm just gonna say my piece. But our mayor mentioned that this is a sports team, a team. So she opened the door, and I've got to walk through it, right? So, it's just incredible, and it's an honor to be a part of this moment. Very important moment, and I know the importance is reflected in the attention to detail that everyone in this room has shown. That importance is not lost upon anyone on this stage, right? This is an incredible opportunity for the city, and for me, to be a part of Team Bally's is just an honor and a privilege, and they've made a commitment not only to delivering on an amazing project, but they've made a commitment to also helping the city to win economically. They have a community-first approach as they want to know what's happening in these communities. There's a ripple effect. Yes, this project here is going to change this area of the city, but beyond that, it's going to change this entire city. It's going to impact a lot of lives, and that's what, for me, is so important and what's so exciting to be a part of. I'm so fortunate that I was able to serve the city in the sports aspect for so many years, and also to give back, working with kids in the community and focused on that impact sector. There's so much work that needs to be done. Bally's has that front of mind as well, and in building any team, right, vision is so important, execution is so important, and Bally's brings that. The city knows that, and it's because of the insight, the strength they have, the position that they're in, why that this partnership has happened today. And without a question, we're going to look to over-deliver. We're going to look to execute on a high level. And I know it's been mentioned multiple times today, but this is going to be an incredible experience for the city of Chicago. But beyond that, this is going to be an incredible global experience that wherever you come from in the world, you're able to come to this casino and really just be blown away. So it's an honor and privilege to be a part of it. I thank you all for your commitment to this project and what you've brought to the table. And I look forward to just getting this off the ground. Also, the mayor mentioned that this is just the beginning. There's a lot of work to be done, and that's absolutely right. This is training camp. This is preseason. There's still significant work that needs to be done, and it's going to take all of us, right? It's going to take everybody, every stakeholder from every corner of the city to bring their best to make sure that this project crosses the finish line on an elite level. So thank you. I appreciate you. Bear down. Let's go. Let's welcome to the stage John Bosca.
That's close enough.
That's close enough.
Good morning, everybody. I'm John Bosca. I'm from Neighbors of River West. So you understand, our neighborhood association, it covers the boundaries. On the north side, it would be Division. On the east side is the Chicago River. To the south is Kinsey. And on the west side, it is Ogden Avenue and the Expressway. Our neighborhood group has contracted over time, and the reason for that is because everything around us has boomed. The West Loop, River North, a lot of changes over in Ukrainian Village, Eckerd Park. All those areas have boomed. developers have looked at River West as being the hole in the donut. The reason for that is because there have been such large developments that were essential to the city. Businesses. Those businesses were and are Chicago Tribune, Prairie, Begain, Ganella was in the middle of our neighborhood. These are large tracts of land that were not available for development because they were providing jobs, essential services to the city. So as properties around that, those different businesses grew and they started to develop, we had to work hand in hand with the people who work there, own those businesses. Today, right now, we're looking at a huge change. We're not, as Alderman Burnett said, we're not afraid of change. And the reason for that is this. Alderman Burnett said that he's not scared. We're not scared. I'm not scared. The reason for that is this. We trust each other. Alderman Burnett has been working with neighbors of River West for over 28 years. I've lived in a neighborhood since 1988. The change that has gone on has been immense. You guys have all seen that. You've experienced it, especially the labor that is here, the buildings that have gone up. One thing for sure is that Chicago is a big, small town. We all know each other. We all work with each other. What's most important, though, is to be able to trust each other. Know who you're going to go and sit down with at the table. In this particular instance right now, neighbors of River West, we were the only neighborhood group to address the underlying PDs that are existing there right now. On the north side of Chicago Avenue, which we refer to as the insertion plant, that would be referred to as PD number 1399. To the south side, which is about 38 acres, that would be referred to as 1426. All the improvements that are there have been worked through with those developers that held those at the time. Most importantly are the traffic improvements. When we went through the PD process with Riverside and with Tribune and Phil, who is here, we worked through that. Most importantly, what we were looking at was for the throughput of the traffic on Chicago Avenue, as well as how to get traffic through the intersection of Ogden, Milwaukee, and Chicago, then ultimately get it onto the Kennedy. In that PD, we negotiated with Tribune and Riverside as $1 million to be paid for when their development gets started, that intersection would get the lights and the sequencing to be improved. When the south side of the Chicago Tribune properties came in, again, traffic was a huge issue. As the PD requires, we've asked that the developer put in all of those improvements first. Streets, signaling on the south side all the way up Halsted. Yes, well, why is that important? Because everybody's talking about traffic, congestion. Bally's has made a commitment to do that up on the front end of this. All that being said, I want you to know that throughout this process so far, it's been different from what we've done in the past. It's been different from the way that things have been done before. Automatic prerogatives has always been brought up. One of the things that we have to work through and will continue to work through is what that really means. What does that look like? So far, it's been great to work with Alderman Burnett, and he's been open with us, and same thing with Mayor Lightfoot and her administration. Again, it goes back to trust, working with folks. Also, too, one of the things that I do want to say about Bally's and how we were introduced to them, I think it's important. During the pandemic, City Church, which is right there at Chicago and Halsted, we were passing out food, boxes of food. I reached out to the alderman and said, hey, Alderman, how can we get more involved with the community? He gave us a couple names, and sure enough, gentleman over here, John Harrell, he shows up with Terry, and next thing you know, we start giving them boxes of food. They help us deliver the food. We knew exactly what was going on. In addition to that, over time, what we were doing is we would take boxes down to the south side, Englewood, and then we would take boxes out to the west side. And we were really introduced to John Harrell and Black Men United there. And it was a partnership that got started out of need. People need food. Guess what? People still need food. We still need to continue that on. Bally's has participated in that. Bally's has shown up. Thanksgiving turkey giveaways, those things like that. So as we move forward, we've gotten to know who we're working with. Early on, we were introduced to Bally's. We were introduced to Chris Jewett through Dr. Harrell, as well as Jerry Lewis. Again, these are guys that we work with. We weren't strangers. We had already chewed a lot of dirt together. When Chris came over and sat down with us and talked about what they were planning, I have to tell you that he asked for a letter of support from neighbors of River West and support for this. He made it very clear that we were unable to do that at that time. And the reason for that is because out of all the development that we've done, the zoning changes and everything else, we go through a process. We had not gone through that process. And today, to this point right now, we have not gone through that process, but we will. And we'll go through it with people who we trust, like Alderman Burnett. I have to say this. I have to say that right now, there's a lot of fear in the community. There's a lot of fear of what's going to happen. What's going to happen if a casino goes in there? What's going to happen, with all the change? I think what we have to do is we have to lock arms. I think what we have to do is work together. Organized labor, obviously, they're part of it, but what we have to do is work together. And that means that we have to trust each other, to tell the truth, to be integrity with each other, and be able to work through it. This is much bigger than River West. We realize that. And that's why we didn't join other neighborhood groups shouting out and saying, hey, we don't want it, we don't want it, we don't want it. Long ago, I learned from Jack George, a zoning attorney. He said, John, everybody is due process. Don't frustrate that. Don't frustrate due process. We've always participated in due process. The developer deserves that. The community deserves that. So far, for what I've seen from Bally's, and especially Chris Jewett here, is that they're willing to lock arms and work through these issues, address these issues. They're real, and so are those fears. But what I'm not afraid of is locking arms with Alderman Burnett and other community leaders to work through those problems. I know in the coming days we're going to have a lot of work to do. Look forward to it. Later on this afternoon, again, we started another development, which everybody knows as a Salvation Army down there. We'll begin working on that. Everywhere in River West right now, everywhere, there is development that is planned. And it's good to work with people who you can trust and who you can work with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Eric Williams. I am the chef and owner of Virtue Restaurant and Mustard Seed Kitchen. I'd first like to thank Mayor Lightfoot for her vision and her tireless effort to push this thing forward. I'd like to acknowledge our state and city officials who are all working diligently to make this thing come forward. I've worked in River North for about 20 years, which is the most amount of time I've spent in a space in my entire career. And I worked as a young salad cook to a partnership steak in a restaurant by the name of MK that was there and took a lot of pride in not just being in the community, but being a part of the community. We were able to move forward as we closed MK a few years ago to launch Virtue Restaurant, which we believe is an amazing amenity to the Hyde Park community, to its residents, and the community at large. It's important to me to be in spaces that provide safe space and equitable space. And as we look forward to being a part of this development, growing our team, creating a deeper, connected impact in the River West community. We look forward to growing opportunities for people of color and providing a culture of hospitality and kindness for everyone that walks in those doors. Thank you. I'd like to introduce to you Jackie Gomez.
Well, just when I was thinking, I was really excited about the Mayor's Invest Southwest initiative because of the involvement with the community. Blew me away, Mayor. This is exciting time and it's historic for the city. My name is Jackie Gomez. I am the Executive Director for the Hispanic American Construction Industry Association, also known as HACIA. We are a construction advocacy and membership organization representing over 300 members in the construction industry with a focused lens on diversity, inclusion, and equity. Small businesses and minority and women-owned businesses are the lifeline of the communities in Chicago. The opportunities for minority and women-owned businesses and the creation of good-paying construction jobs that this development will bring will be historic, and we're all for it. It will set the tone and the new standard for what future development should and will be like. And that's exciting times for us. It will benefit, the benefits of this development will be felt for generations. That's no doubt about it. And what you've been hearing mostly today of how the design, how inclusive and wonderful it will be, and it will be built by quality workmanship. I'm here to just highlight how excited we are for our for those small minority businesses that are looking to be part of this great project. And I applaud, and we applaud, the mayor's efforts and intentional efforts to ensure that it's inclusive from the very top to the bottom. And that's important for our minority and women businesses here in the construction industry. And so with that, I just want to applaud the mayor and her team for this enormous feat we know was not easy, and we stand ready, willing, able to support and assist Valley's team with the inclusion of diverse businesses and a diverse workforce. Thank you. I will now introduce Esther Morales.
Hola, buenos días a todos.
Hi, how are you?
Mi nombre es Esther Morales, soy recamarera en Crown Plaza.
Good morning, my name is Esther Morales. I'm a room attendant at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Chicago.
Llevo 18 años trabajando ahí y me encanta convivir con la gente, atender a los huéspedes de todo el mundo, y estoy orgullosa de ser miembro de mi unión United Local 1.
I have worked there 18 years. I love meeting with people and welcome guests all around the world. I'm proud to be a member of my union, United here Local 1.
Vivo en la villita con toda mi familia. En el tercer piso está mi mamá, mi papá y mis 2 hermanos. En el segundo vivimos mi esposo y yo. Y en el primer piso vive mi hermana mayor y mi cuñado y sus 2 niñas. Mi mamá es dueña de todos nosotros y nosotros la ayudamos a pagar todos sus gastos.
I live in a little village with all my family. On the 3rd floor are my mom, my dad, and my brothers. On the 2nd floor, I live with my husband. And the 1st floor, I live my big sister, my brother-in-law, and their 2 daughters. My mom owned the building, and we all help together to pay the costs.
Gracias a mi unión tengo trabajo, me permite mantener a mi familia y ayudar a mis padres.
Thanks to my union, I have a job. It let me support my family and help my parents.
Pero la pandemia ha sido lo más terrible que yo he visto, y gracias a la unión tenía aseguranza durante toda la pandemia.
But the pandemic has been the worst thing I ever seen. Thanks to my union, we'll be able to have health insurance the entire year.
Las trabajadoras como yo merecemos buenos trabajos con un seguro médico accesible y de alta calidad.
Workers like me deserve good job with affordable and high-quality health insurance.
El Casino de Chicago creará oportunidades para cientos de trabajadores como yo.
The Chicago Casino will create opportunity for hundreds of workers just like me.
Gracias al alcalde Lightfoot, al ayuntamiento por apoyarnos y sí se puede. Local
Thank
1.
you to Mayor
Gracias.
Lightfoot and the Chicago City Council for support us, and sí se puede.
Thank you for
very
everything.
much.
Thank you.
With that, we would like to introduce our President, Karen King.
Good morning. My name is Karen Kent. I'm the president of Unite Here Local 1. In 1992, I was an organizer assigned here in Chicago, and I was organizing, signing up people at the Sheraton, and there were rumors about the casino opening in Chicago at that point in time. So it's all kismet. I'm the president of Unite Here Local 1, Chicago's hospitality union. The hospitality workers we represent are women, immigrants, and people of color. And hit hard by the pandemic, many of them are still laid off from the union jobs they left in hospitality. Jobs that they loved, jobs that paid their family's mortgage on their homes, jobs that supported first in family college students, jobs that paid for family health care and provided family coverage for children from delivery to vaccination to graduation. Today, 26 months after the pandemic first shut down our city, there remains a good job shortage. In hospitality, too many of our good union jobs have disappeared, and many working people have been left waiting for the opportunity to go back to a good job like the one they left before the pandemic. That's why I'm delighted to say today that hundreds of bartenders, servers, housekeepers and cooks, baristas and bellmen and bussers will have a shot at a good job at Bally's Chicago Casino. Bally's is the only bidder to commit to create a path to good jobs at the Chicago Casino. So we are pleased that the City of Chicago has selected Bally's to operate our casino. Bally's Chicago Casino will give hospitality workers from Rogers Park to Pullman, from Little Village to Bronzeville, from the west side to the south side, an opportunity to get back to work, welcoming guests, mixing cocktails, preparing meals, and making sure that visitors to our city feel at home. People who work in hospitality are the people who welcome you to their homes. They serve you a meal. They are the ones who organize the picnics and the barbecues from Memorial Day to Labor Day and tell you what to bring along when you come. These working people are ready for full-time jobs, good jobs that highlight fairness, that sustain families, and lift up communities, for work that fills a place in their head and their hearts. I would like to thank the mayor and the members of City Council as well for keeping working people in their heads and hearts throughout this process. We know that the casino has been the source of a lot of debate over the dinner table, with your neighbors, at union meetings, and with coworkers. That back and forth is very Chicago. It is also very Chicago to show compassion, to do the best we can for our city, and to provide for working people, for those in need, and do the best we can to keep our city at work. Chicagoans need the city's leaders to take this next step forward. We are asking for the best of Chicago to show compassion, to provide for our city, and keep our city at work. Thousands of hospitality workers in our city are counting on it. I want to thank again to Mayor Lightfoot, who's been especially mindful of the needs of hospitality workers at the beginning, throughout, and during the whole pandemic. And the members of the mayor's team who put in so much work, and the members of City Council, to the Chicago Federation of Labor, I'm going to get for clumps, to the Chicago Federation of Labor and the Chicago Building Trades, we thank you. We are filled with love and pride and honored to be part of the Chicago labor movement with all of you. Without all of you, our union would look very different today. We are fortunate to have a labor movement that believes in lifting all boats and that leaves no one behind. I'm so grateful to the mayor, to labor, to all of you. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward on behalf of our members to doing this casino together. Thank you.
Well, it's been quite I think it's still morning. But you can see that this is a really big deal for so many. That's why we thought it was important to have it here. That's why it was important that we had the speakers that really, I think, represented a cross-section of folks that are going to benefit by this incredible investment. And again, I got to thank our friends in Springfield. I have to thank our friends in labor. Hospitality and tourism are also in the house. Sam Toya from the Illinois Restaurant Association, Sam Sanchez, our board chair, and Choose Chicago, led by board chair Glenn Eden. We have a lot to be grateful for in the city of Chicago, and this is just another reminder of that. And with that, I'm happy to take your questions.
Thanks a lot, Mayor. Appreciate it. Members of the media, Asha and I will bring down the mic to you just because of the number of reporters. Please be aware that we're going to provide one question per reporter. We'll try to get to all of you. We'll start with Mitch from the Sun-Times.
Mayor, last week the special City Council Committee on the Chicago Casino met. It's the only meeting that committee had. I know some aldermen expected it to have more input on the selection. Can you comment on how that committee, just generally what the point of the committee was?
What the point of it is? The point is that the City Council has to be intimately involved in its decision. And as you know, the committee is composed of every committee chair and every vice chair. I think it's 3/4 of the City Council that is formally sitting in the committee, but City Council members, as is their tradition, any member, whether on a committee or not, has the ability to come, ask questions, and participate. And I think you saw some of that. So the point is the point. We believe in legislation, we believe in democracy, and this is something that the City Council has to be intimately involved in, and they have been. They had the opportunity from the very beginning when we released the names of the RFP respondents back in December. We had the big convening at UIC Pavilion to come and listen to the presentation. They've had the opportunity at all the public convenings. Multiple layers of briefings have happened with City Council members. Some participate, some don't. But we make sure, as we always do with anything big or small, that City Council members are read into the process, and they have been in this one. Now this project goes to the City Council members. They'll have a subject matter hearing on Monday, and as I mentioned before that, briefings of City Council members are going to be happening today and tomorrow, and then there'll be a vote of the committee, and then it'll go to hopefully that vote will be positive, and then it'll go to the floor of the City Council. So there are ample, and have been and will continue to be ample opportunities. So I'll say it on behalf of City Council members. City Council is very relevant in the economic development life of our city, and this project's no different.
Thanks, Mayor. Craig Wall, ABC 7.
Mayor, if I can just follow that up, because there are some on that committee who maybe were expecting to have more of an input before a decision was announced, and might even be looking at that committee as really having been kind of a sham without, because we moved so quickly after only one meeting.
Well, there's nothing about this that has moved quickly. As I said, and let me review the timeline. We issued the RFP last year in the spring. We had the 5 finalists that were announced and then put out for public view, and we've given a lot of the documentation that was available. That public-facing process really started with the issuance of the RFP, and then really, I think, took bloom in December of last year. So ask the City Council members who were saying that they've been closed out of the process, they thought they'd have more. Did they show up at any of those things? Many of them didn't. I've seen the voices that have spoken, and many of them didn't. And look, the reality is, in every process, there are winners and losers, and this one's no different. And some of what you're hearing is people who they've staked their allegiance with proposals that didn't make it through to the finalists. And it's typical of folks that weren't successful to attack the process. I could probably list you half a dozen other circumstances. But in this administration, we care a lot about the process. The process matters. Transparency, engagement, inclusion matter. They're not just window dressing for us. So there's been ample opportunity for any member who wanted to be engaged and understand the permutations of this process. That's precisely why we named the committee when we did, so that they would have representation and direct liaison with the mayor's office team. And that discussions have been ongoing for months now. So anyone that tells you differently has been asleep for the last few months.
Thanks, Mayor. Eric Rung, WGN.
Or isn't telling the truth.
Good morning, Mayor. Thank you for taking the question here. My question, I'm going to follow up on the first two here as well. On Tuesday, when you were asked about this, you made it seem in what you told us, that us being the press, that you were going to be waiting on the Select Committee's recommendation, yet here we are today.
I never said that. I never said that.
You made it seem as if you did.
I never said that.
I can read you your soundbite if you would like me to.
No, sir, you were wrong. I never said that. I never alluded to that because I knew what the process was. I said I was waiting on the evaluation committee, which is different, sir. And let me just give you a little procurement one-on-one. Whenever there is an RFP that's issued, there is an evaluation committee that is stood up. That evaluation committee then helps form the RFP, controls the process and the back and forth, and then comes together once the proposals come in, and then evaluates the proposals, whether or not they adhere to the RFP, and then any other additional information. There was reporting on Tuesday that I had already made a decision, and I said, no, I have not, because I have not received the recommendation of the evaluation committee. That is different than the select committee, the special committee that's been set up by the City Council.
Sharon, WTTW.
Hi, Mayor. Originally, Bally's offered a $25 million upfront payment. In the release this morning, that payment is increased to $40 million and includes an annual $4 million payment. How big did that play a role in your decision in selecting Bally's?
Well, I would say you have to look at the overall package, but I've been very clear about this when I've made public comments. It was very important to me that we had a financial deal that worked for the city. And there's a couple of components with that. Number one is that the financing was there. I was not interested in, the taxpayers, I think, wouldn't want me to get involved in a relationship with a developer that didn't have all of his financing tight. So that was critically important. We also had other elements of what we were requesting, which Bally's has met. One of which, importantly, was an upfront payment and then an annual community benefit payment that we could use to supplement some of the work that's going to go on around the casino development, and Bally's has met that. So yeah, finances, of course, first and foremost, matter. Having labor peace, a critical part of it. Making sure that they were meeting real commitments around MBE, WBE participation, also critically important. I don't want to short shrift all of it, but those are some of the top line issues, and we were very transparent about that from day one in ERP and any conversations that I've had with the teams, whether it was a 5 when I met with them or when it was 3 with the finalists. We emphasize those pieces, and that's what our team has been really in negotiations around a term sheet for a long time with each of these teams, but those are critical pieces for us.
Chris Ty, CBS.
I'd like to use my question to ask Mr. Kim a question, if I may. Mr. Kim, would you mind stepping up to the microphone? There are some critics in Chicago who say that Bally's doesn't have expertise to operate a project of this scale. Average casinos that you operate are in towns of about 110,000 people, and that you are a hedge fund that will need to take on debt. I'm wondering if you can answer some of those questions, and also what percentage of this project is going to be financed by what the mayor talked about, those smaller investors who are able to get a piece of the casino?
Okay. That's about 5 questions.
I'm going to try. All right, I'm going to try to. Exactly. Well, I'll try to. I'll try to go through that. So, I do run an investment fund. That's actually my full-time job, and as part of my, one of the things we do is look for, good opportunities to invest in. Bally's is a company that we've been invested in for actually over 10 years. It happens to be one of our firm's more important positions. My work on as chairman of the board is really actually volunteer work, and what I do is to make sure that our money that's invested in Bally's is invested in a way that's consistent with our firm's, my own firm's values, and make sure that, again, the goal is to protect our investors' money and make it grow. But we have to do that the right way. And I think you can see that we've been very conscientious about the way we've approached development opportunities to make money for our shareholders. We want to do it the right way, where we create more benefit and not just some zero-sum game. So I think that covers that. The fund itself, there's no debt being taken to build this project. We're going to build this project over a number of years. We actually, are one of the reasons why we are maybe the fastest growing casino company in America is because we have a very solid balance sheet. We're able to invest in ourselves, invest in new projects, and I don't think that this is going to take some special amount of borrowing. Sorry, what was the first question again?
It was a ball of mud that he was throwing.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So in terms of the small investor options, again, this is something that, again, everything that we've done here, we've listened to the city. I think that, look, the city ran a tough, I think a very tough process. They asked for a lot. And one of the things that was very important to them was, hey, we have to make sure that this is just not, rich people getting richer. There has to be a way to share in the project. And so we came up with a very innovative community investment program, which we are going to continue to announce in the coming days and weeks. But I think we've fleshed through the basic parts of this, which is that, again, even small investors in the community, underrepresented groups, will have a chance to own a piece of the casino and have a meaningful stake in its success. So we're very excited about that. I think it is quite innovative, and sometimes it's good to do something that other people haven't done. In terms of our experience in managing casinos, it's actually really interesting. Our first casino, the first casino that is actually the core of Bally's, is our property right outside of Providence, Rhode Island. that has close to 5,000 gaming positions. Actually, versus the other bidders, I think it's larger than any of the other casinos that they run in terms of size and scope and scale. So I don't know. I think we, I don't doubt our ability to both build and operate this casino.
Thank you very much. Alice from the Tribune.
Hi, Mayor. So what do you make of two neighboring aldermen, Hopkins and Riley, who are not on board with the location and say their residents aren't either? And are you concerned about going forward without them on board?
No. Not concerned at all. You know, we have and we will continue to engage with city council members. There are going to be some that will vote no, and that's how the world turns. But I'm more than confident that we will have a good, solid majority that says yes to our residents, that says yes to economic development, and as Alderman Burnett said, aren't afraid of progress, aren't afraid to make investments that inure to the benefit of all of our residents, aren't afraid to make an investment in our police and fire pensions, and aren't afraid to put union members to work and make sure that we are building a strong economic future for our city. So I'm not afraid of that.
Thanks, Mayor. Melody, Block Club.
Hi, Mayor. I already see that there's a town hall scheduled for next Thursday, May 12th, following the announcement today. And I spoke to some community organizations that their perspective was that based on the special committee meeting in late April, that these community meetings would happen prior to a final decision. So I'm just curious what your message is to some of those groups that feel a little blindsided by the announcement this morning.
They are happening before there's a final decision. The city council's got to vote. That's the final decision.
All right, moving to the back with Mariah, WBEZ.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Mayor.
Hi there.
When proposals near Chinatown were still on the table, community members...
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first part.
When proposals near Chinatown were still on the table, community members there expressed concerns about gambling addiction among their residents. That's obviously not a concern that's exclusive to a specific area. It's been a large issue at the state as Illinois expanded gambling. Would you consider allocating any tax revenue from the casino to gambling addiction services in Chicago, or do you have plans to increase those services and find funding for Chicagoans as the casino opens?
Well, whenever there's gaming, and as you know, there's been gaming in our state now for quite some time in a variety of forms, and gaming addiction is real. And we are absolutely mindful of it. We provide supports now, and we'll continue to provide supports in the future. And I know Bally's understands that concern and shares our values in making sure that we provide services for those for whom gambling addiction is very real.
Mayor, we'll go all the way to the back. WLS, Mallory?
It looks like she's got a follow-up.
Okay.
Specifically, do you plan to increase funding as part of this?
That is something that we were definitely looking at from the city side, and I know Bally's is also concerned about that as well.
Thanks, Mayor. Mallory, WLS.
Thank you.
I can see.
We'll go all the way to the back.
Can you see me? I just had a question for you in regards to now that you have a casino picked, and that's an item off of maybe a bucket list for you. Can we expect you to announce your reelection for a second term here soon?
Not today.
No, not today.
I'm not going to step on the news of this great day, but yeah, I've told you it will come soon, and it will come in an appropriate way. But I'm really focused on doing the job that people elected me to do. And I know it's a topic of great fascination for the media, but I've been very clear about what my plan is. So it's just a question of saying it out loud in a public way, and we will do that.
Thanks a lot, Mayor. That's a wrap. Have a great day, everyone.